Welcome, Squires! Yesterday, Creative Assembly revealed Medieval 3 to be the next historical title for the Total War franchise. I thought this day would never come, but finally we're returning to the medieval period after 19 years away. Last night, I combed through every fine detail of the reveal and compiled a quick summary for the most passionate of Total War historical fans. No fuss, straight to the meaty bits. Total War Medieval 3 will be set in the late medieval period between the 12th and 15th centuries, a time rife with knights, castles, siege engines, and crusades. It feels like quite an ideal setting. The map covers the continents of Europe and beyond and features a variety of factions, including the Holy Roman Empire or the Ottomans. The game will contain many notable figures. While not locked in, the developers have hinted at including leaders such as Eleanor of Aquitaine, Saladin, and Richard the Lionheart, to name a few. During the course of the campaign, Creative Assembly want to make the early and late game feel totally different from one another. This may impact tactics, technology, and the behavior of AI as time progresses. The unit artwork certainly hints that upgrades to weapons and armor will visually change your units on the battlefield. I know this will please a lot of fans. The developers want raising an army to feel authentic. Very few details have been revealed, but they have hinted at players having fewer permanent standing armies, with a much heavier reliance on summoning barons and lords who have sworn fealty to your kingdom. It's difficult to say for sure how this might work in practice, but it sounds like relations with your nobles may have a direct impact on the size and quality of your armies. Upset a lord, and you may lose their support and resources. As is traditional, Creative Assembly want players to conquer the world map one territory at a time. The game will start with a chaotic landscape filled with characters and factions. Your task will be to bring order to the chaos through diplomacy and warfare. Medieval 3 certainly sounds like it will have a heavier focus on the grand scale rather than individual characters. Characters and lords will of course still exist and play a role, but it seems like hero mechanics may be taking a backseat in favour of realism, which I'm really glad to hear. As of yet, there's no real detail on how new battle systems might function, but I'm hopeful this will be a return to the slower and more tactic-driven battles that we've seen in the past. We definitely don't want the arcade-style battles of Warhammer here. There's so much more to reveal. Creative Assembly have finally decided to replace their old Warscape engine. It was great for its day, but I've always felt this is what was holding them back the most. Moving forwards, a new engine called War Core will be used, which aims to improve the overall game experience. We can expect better shadows and lighting, higher fidelity graphics, improved performance, crisper projectiles, and battle AI improvements. A new animation system also forms part of the new core, allowing for advanced movements like strafing and realistic vehicle movements. That'll be things like artillery, siege engines, etc. Huge effort is being put into the realistic blood systems, allowing for truly gruesome experiences for the players who are brave enough to switch it on. We're talking bodies flying all over the place, and collision mechanics to make them rest nicely on the scenery. Perfect. The only thing that was of slight concern about the new engine was CA's promise to overhaul the foundation layer only. I worry that this means that Warcore might simply be a refactored version of Warscape rather than a full departure. I can't say for sure though. Whatever path CA are on, I just hope this means that many of the legacy engine limitations get solved. So moving on to the dev team, I have to say, I was impressed with how the dev team presented this announcement. If you take it at face value, it certainly feels like the game is being led and directed by people who actually care about history and authenticity. Some of the team have backgrounds in medieval history, and many of them grew up playing historical Total War all the way from the original Shogun game. While it's no guarantee, it does reassure me that we'll end up with something that's at least partly true to history without modern politics having an influence. I just hope the shareholders and higher-ups don't ruin it for everyone with shortcuts and quick profit-making decisions, which I know CA have been guilty of in the past. I'd implore CA to take their time with this one. Medieval 3 will only succeed by being a good game. No amount of marketing will fix this. This is their opportunity to show the world that their A-game is back when it comes to historical warfare. So next I'd like to take some time to tell you about my thoughts on the game. Once the hype of the announcement settles down, most of us will realise that this is simply a promise that Medieval 3 is on the way. Most of what we've seen is a wish list of what the developers are planning to achieve. To date, there's no real gameplay or anything concrete. But in their defense, they have been honest about this being the earliest reveal they've ever done. The truth is, Medieval 3 is super early in development and it will likely take some years to complete, so I don't think we can expect this anytime soon. CA's recent track record hasn't always been the best when it comes to historical games, but I can't help but feel like something good is coming. They are calling this the rebirth of historical Total War. That's a poetic way to suggest that everything that came before has died to make way for a new type of Total War that we've never seen before. And guys, it's exactly what the franchise needs, so I've got to congratulate CA there, good decision. So some of you might have missed this, but CA casually mentioned how this new direction will benefit each new game that they create. I might be reading too much into this, but the phrase each new game does suggest long-term plans for new historical titles far beyond Medieval 3. This could mean titles such as Empire 2 and Rome 3 may be coming, assuming this game is a success. For now though, I would suggest some cautious optimism. CA have done a great job of conveying that their company is now heading in a bright new direction. I think we're all skeptical given the company's history, but at the same time, I know we all desperately want them to succeed. So good luck, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this all comes together.